God lived on earth, and we have no idea what he was doing, and no one seemed to really notice. Have you all ever thought about that? When do we notice? When do we start hearing about him? When do we start getting the word of God on his whole story? Is once he starts making disciples. It was the thing that started it. Now think about this. Think about the whole Gospels and all the things that Jesus did, the incredible miracles, truths, and in the exchange of his righteousness for our sinfulness. Imagine that he does all of it. I'm going to change one thing. He walks on water. He preaches to thousands. He heals people. He raises someone from the dead. He dies on the cross on behalf of for our sinfulness. Like he does all that, and he raises himself from the grave. Death has no power over him. He does all that. He just didn't do this one thing. How much does it change if he does all the things we know him for, but he didn't have 12 guys follow him for 3 years? Would we be here today? He would be like, great, salvation is ours, just no one's here to tell us about it. Salvation is ours, but there's all this persecution against the few people that got to hear a couple messages that are a mile wide but an inch deep, and they're not prepared to go and take the gospel to the rest of the world. Discipleship is not a distraction. It's not something you're too busy for. Discipleship is not a distraction. It is the main objective. It is not, it's not something that he did on the side just because it was kind of cool and kind of helpful. It is the only thing he seemed to be focused on. He had 5,000 people listening to him, and he got on a boat instead of starting a conference or a huge megachurch. He got on a boat and he said, more important than this is important, but more important is just to disciple 12 guys for 3 years.